Trader.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Rational Investor. This is Julian. I have my camera, I'm live. I don't have the YouTube pulled up. I'm going to pull that up really fast. Just realized that as soon as we started. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Sorry about last week. I did like 3 recordings. None of them worked. Disaster. This week I also tried to do a recording and it didn't work. So I figured, I'll just do it live. We will do it live. So I'm here to answer all of your burning questions. Interesting thing that showed up when I'm trying to load the daily brief here. Let's see here. All right. We're loaded seemingly, except, yeah, I'm seeing something strange. It's an advertisement. Hello, Gills. Hello, Nor. Welcome. This is my real background. There's my sauna hat for anybody that does sauna. You know what that is. Those are some flowers back there, hanging laundry, that kind of stuff. My condo. I could switch it around and you'd see the amazing view, but I figure it's not good for the camera. But anyway, welcome. I'm gonna just have myself. Okay, so I've got it running on YouTube. I see myself. Good. Let me know if you guys have an issue with the black bars. I know there's black bars on the top and bottom. It's because I finally got a new monitor and it's a 2K monitor. I didn't think I needed the 4K one. I thought 2K is good enough. So I have it at the 2K resolution, but I know that we're broadcasting at maximum of 1080p. So it's causing these black bars. I'm just going to do it this way for this broadcast, but if you guys have an issue with it, just let me know and next week I'll adjust my monitor to be 1080p just for the show, and then it should line up correctly. There, just a little fun fact. Hello, T. Welcome, guys. All right, we got good 13 people already. Okay, crazy week. Absolutely. I mean, ever since the Trump assassination attempt happened, like, I don't want to get into politics. I think you've heard enough people talk about politics, so I'm not going to even try to talk about those topics. But I will say that a lot of strange things are happening, and do not expect this market to behave the way previous presidential election year markets have behaved. I just don't see it. I think this is going to be a very strange year. And I think the markets are going to be extremely volatile until September. I think, if you choose to trade in this market, you're going to deal with some extreme volatility, which is going to open up for a lot of opportunity, but also a lot of risk. That's the issue. Now, if you're okay with that, if you're okay with wicks like this, then it's or tails. I should say tails, not wicks. Wicks would be up here. Tails are down here. Then it's fine, but just understand that it's not a normal market environment. I'm not seeing the YouTube chat anymore. Hold on, I think I'm gonna load it. I will load the YouTube on my phone. There we go. It loaded, so it's there. All right, let's look at. So I've got NASDAQ pulled up. I've got Tesla, S&P. Let's go to the S&P on a weekly chart, and we'll work our way down. You know what? Let's actually do a monthly. Monthly has an 8, and currently looks like shit. We've got 6 days to close, and it's got a time to mark 8 running. So moderately concerning. But that's what you've got, kind of like that, moving up. It's still technically in bull territory, but you guys know that when you get a TD 8 or 9, that usually signals a pause or potential pullback. Doesn't always work, but it works enough of the time to try to listen to it. Weekly, you can see the weekly. We don't have it. Here's something weird that I noticed on RSI here. You don't really have much of a divergence where price is higher than the RSI, but on a 3-day, you can see how RSI is lower. Look at that. And this is what the 3-day chart looks like. And we're kind of sitting at this major support. And if I work down to a daily, you can see it again, right? But on the daily, it doesn't, again, look as obvious. You do have a very slight, very, very slight divergence, but not much of one. So it's a bit strange that the 3-day looks the way it does and the daily looks like this. This is kind of our ping pong RSI range. If they wanted to crash the market, it would have kept going. It would have kept dumping here. It didn't. This is the perfect reversal for a continuation rally, right like this. So we did break down from this uptrend line. So I could see a couple different scenarios happening. What I wanted to see was a reclaim of this 50-day moving average. The fact that the market is pushing up from that reclaim, it took out all the stops below. That is a good sign for now. On a 4-hour chart, I need a break above this downtrend line to really get super bullish. If we move to these lower time frames, you can see the divergence that built up. 30-minute, 1 hour. If we go to the 1 hour, right? So here you had price making a new low. RSI did not. It's pushing up. Once it gets above this trend heuristic channel, that's when, you know, we're off to the races. We want to see a bullish daily close here. And then we have this trend line to deal with. This is going to be the next major resistance level, where if we can get on the other side of that, then we can go to new highs again. But there was a lot of damage done here. So there is potential that this is just a counter trend, a counter rally. We're going to bump up to this trend line, get everyone to be a bit bullish again. Maybe we go a little bit above, and then we roll over, and then we get the real crash. There's serious potential for that to happen. So be vigilant over the next few days. This is a big deal. And this could get very bad if we don't move above these highs. If we don't go above 5,550, we reject from there. There's no telling how low we could go. We go to a weekly chart, right? I mean, I looked at the entire range of just the past, just since October 2022, right? So this is the whole range since the bottom in 2022. And even just the 38.2 retrace is 48,000. I mean, really, if you thought the crash yesterday was big, it was actually tiny. When you think that, you know, we still have a possible 12% move, when yesterday was barely 2%, right? It was like 2%, 3% maybe, 2.5 to 3. So we could really head lower, but there hasn't been a full breakdown yet. This weekly is still potentially bullish if this can recover. We've got a day and 5 hours. Now let's look here. Let's look at market sentiment. So we've got a major call wall at 565. Probably not going to go above that. But anywhere else here is free game. Right now we're at 54.68. So max pain would probably be here at like 550. Right now we're basically here. But if they can pull it up to here, that's max pain. Don't expect it to go above 56.50. I'm getting some ear pain. So that's what I'm seeing with the options expiration for tomorrow. Also, we had for news that came out, nothing big, but we did get GDP. Looks good. Unemployment, surprisingly, not spiking, in line with expectations. But GDP, advanced GDP, came in very high. Oh, that's probably why the market is, obviously why it's rebounding. Surprised it's so high. I wonder why. I'd have to look into it more. Durable good orders are way down. Core durable good orders are fine, but durable good orders are way down. Now, that doesn't surprise me because I have a friend that works in the logistics industry, and it's one of the biggest logistics companies in the world that handle shipping and basically shipping and handling import exports of tons of different products around the world. Well, he told me that he has not seen this level of low shipping rates since 2009, 2008, 2009. And they just fired like 30% of the company. So obviously something is going on here where the market is at basically all-time highs, but the economy is not doing well at all. And I'm just taking that from anecdotal experience of people. Anecdotal statements from people that I'm talking to and know. With the logistics one being something, it's a big deal. I'm talking to people who own e-commerce companies and things like that, and most of them are down in sales 50 to 80%. So, at some point this has to break this market. I think you're going to get your short opportunity in this move here. If we can get a decent rebound, I think that's your opportunity to start building shorts. So this is what I'm watching for. I like what I'm seeing. We're going to run into resistance here on this downtrend right there. We're actually pushing above it right now, but if we can push through this, then we're off to the races. I have some longs on in crypto. I also have some stocks that I'm long on. I can talk about them more in the after party. But usually this is just for the general market and where I think that's going. Yes, 1 hour looks very strong, but I need it above here to really feel semi-safe. Right now, we're going to run into resistance here. All right, so that's kind of the SPY. I wanted to see it stop here. I'm glad it did. Otherwise, we would be having a very, very different discussion today. So glad to see we got that pause. I'm in a few longs. I closed all of my shorts. I closed some of my shorts early. I closed them like up here, and then the rest I closed like here. So I was totally out of my shorts, and I'm looking forward to some sort of rally so I can re-enter those shorts. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. Okay, so that's the S&P. I wanted to talk about Tesla. So Tesla dumped pretty hard. And it had an 8 come in on the weekly. So that was your reversal signal. And now we came down. I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't fill this gap right here. I would have liked to have seen us go down to 213. We didn't. It looks like we're kind of pushing higher already. However, until, again, the same as the S&P, until this 4 hour, we break on the other side of this 4 hour RSI, I can't get too crazy bullish yet. I think we need one more leg down with Tesla, at least, maybe right to fill the gap. Although here on the 4 hour, it looks like it almost filled it, but I'd like to see one more touch and go. You can see MACD doesn't look great. RSI doesn't look great. Still like in a kind of a downtrend. So be careful with longs just yet on things like Tesla. It's just but this huge gap needs to get filled, so I can see us pushing up here 245 or so. But first I want to see a retest and then a move up here, and then it'll probably follow what the rest of the market does. Either we get a new high or we head lower. I've talked about the Optimus robot, that kind of stuff, you guys know. So I expect Tesla to do well if they can come out with a truly impressive robot product that people can really use. Okay, so that's Tesla. NAS. Look at that. Look at this candle. If the daily candle closes like this, very, very, very bullish. You could say that this is like a bear flag, bull flag. Sorry. So this was the same kind of thing where you had this like downtrend and then reversal to new highs. This is kind of the same thing, downtrend and then reversal to new highs. Could potentially be happening, but again, got to be cautious, and this needs to push higher. There's potential that we can get one more reversal low and then the push up. That's what I'm looking at. That's my main thesis here for this week slash next week. Okay, so that's the S&P. That's Tesla, NASDAQ. Silver dumped hard. Big breakdown on silver. Came into my 38.2 level of the entire range from the lows down here back in 2023. So we tagged 38.2. We broke down from this daily trend line You had a double top formation. Silver doesn't look great here. I wouldn't get too crazy about longing silver just yet. Funny thing is, on a weekly, it's still in a bull trend, but on a daily, it broke down. And I don't see any kind of divergence here that causes me to get excited about silver. I think we could get another leg, one more leg down. It looks like it's trying to reverse here, but I'd like to see a tag of 26, this 50% level. This daily was a harsh breakdown. Now, if we sit here and we build an 8 and 9, then we could get a rebound like that. But I'd like to see some move down here, tag the 200-day moving average, and then we move up. I'm actually going to set some alerts. Set one right here. Add alert if it crosses that. And then I want to alert down here as well if we cross that. And I might as well put one up here in case we cross up here. So I'm watching silver very closely because I think once it breaks out higher, it could have a decent move. There's silver. Let's see how. I always talk about this. Basically, the liquidity in the system, it's kind of flatlined. Nothing's really changed since March 2024. It's just sitting here. And you can see Bitcoin is flatlined. Along with it, the market kind of got away from itself, but it's been pulling back. But you can see how much Bitcoin is kind of linked to global liquidity, where it just flatlines. As long as if there's no liquidity sitting in the sloshing around in the system, there's really no reason for Bitcoin to move up. Plus, we've had a lot of FUD, right? Mt. Gox thing. People are getting issued their Bitcoin. We had Germany selling, so on and so forth. A lot of market pressure. But that's the time when you want to look to buy, when you get that kind of pressure. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. That's what you guys are really interested in. Bitcoin is still in my uptrending channel. It did break down on a daily chart right here. So I don't like what I'm seeing there. However, if we go to like this lower time frame, 8-hour chart, you can see this is kind of the uptrend that I'm watching for Bitcoin. And actually 4-hour would be better. And here was the breakdown, and then here's the potential reversal happening. Need to move on the other side of this trend line, but once you do, you can move higher. Pretty clean price action, actually. Very clean. Okay, it comes down here, buy this area. Expect them to probably try to take out the lows. They went to basically right here, 63,400. I'm surprised they didn't do 63. I would have expected like 63,200, but maybe people front ran that, so they didn't. Now we're back within the channel. So if we break out on the other side of this, we could just head straight up, dude, something like that, and we just go right up here, and you end up, at 71K very quickly. Or we have a bit of a fake out, and then we head up, something like that, and then we hit this midpoint, we play in this area, and then head higher. If we break down, it's a long way down. It's just gonna dump hard. I think everybody kind of knows that. But as long as we stay within this channel, looks good. I don't mind longing certain crypto coins to kind of ride this move up. But just understand that if it doesn't break through here, we could fall off a cliff. It could get really bad. Let's hope that it can push higher. You can see RSI down here. You see how the price made a low, but the RSI didn't. And we just had that major reversal, and now we get to push higher. If we look at this range, it's pretty narrow range actually. Predicting a price move up to just 66.36. Really not much of a move. We're at the first 1.618 now. I could even adjust this a little bit to be. I think that's a bit better. So there. Next one would be 2.618, and then so on and so forth. That's what I'm seeing. I think taking longs here is a bit risky. If you get a little bit of a pullback, you can consider a long. And then just set your stops kind of below the lows down here. It's tricky spot, but I like it as a potential move higher. What else do I have? Let's look at Solana. Lots of people are excited about Solana. So Solana's kind of just been sitting in this range. It's basically a bull flag, right? Like that. And it's kind of broken out on the other side. Just like that. And it looks good to me. I mean, it's just consolidating. That's all this is. If it was not bullish, it would not sit and consolidate for so long when the rest of the market has been kind of, I mean, I'll show you Rune in a second and we'll look at that. But I know a lot of people are very excited about Solana, and I think the chart kind of reflects that. And you can see how even Solana broke out on the other side. Now keep in mind, this is a daily chart. Solana broke out on the other side of this parallel, this kind of bull flag. And now it's just retesting the trend line. It didn't even go below this trend line much. I thought we'd get some kind of pullback down to this midpoint, down to like 155, 154. But that just shows how strong it actually is. So I like Solana as something that can head a lot higher. And this was your W and basically your confirmation. And we're pretty much sitting at that 1.618 area where you expect some kind of consolidation like we're getting, and then we're going to get 210 and then 280. You're not going to get a double from here, but you get a pretty healthy return, especially on something that's relatively safe. I think this is a perfect setup. I mean, if you wanted to get long on Solana, now is your chance. This is where I would consider longs, and I would get in and I would ride this up to 280. Right here, 279, maybe just do 275, front run a little bit just in case. But this is exactly what you want to see. See how they took out the lows back here all the way from July 20th. So clear out a little bit of that liquidity, and then get that rocket fuel to head higher. There's your other trend line. So we're just sandwiched between these trend lines. Maybe we play a little bit more in here, and then we break out, and then we go, or just break out and go. Potential Solana scenarios. So, time's running out. If you're not long and you are waiting to invest, I mean, this is something that looks pretty good to me. Rune is another one that I'm watching, but you can see how this shows how strong Solana is in comparison. Like, this was a downtrend, by the way, and we're like on the other side of the downtrend lines. Look at this. So Rune got rejected from this downtrend, and you can see how it came into this MA compression area in my trend heuristic channel, and bounced from there. As long as it's above here, I'm pretty bullish, but I want to see us above this trend line. Once that happens, then we're gonna rocket higher. Could even do something like this, right? So you have your ABCD, basically brings you up to like $6. Not bad, not amazing. You can see how we pulled back to that 38.2 of this little range that I drew. Right. Get rid of that. And then this is the range that I drew of basically from this area all the way here, just kind of give me potential zones. So we came up to that 38.2 zone. See the confluence? See how much like lined up? Question: if you know the majority of people are not interested in bargaining but want your opinion on crypto, why not start with that instead? Well, I mean, that's a good question, but I kind of always start with stocks and then I just go into crypto, and people are welcome to ask questions, but people don't really. So I just, and the reason I start with the stock market is because I think TradFi leads crypto. So you have to, I try to take a top-down approach where the head is wagging the tail. And if you look at all of the markets, you've got TradFi, which is something like, I'm not going to draw it. You've got SPX, which is basically the top, right? That's the top. If shit happens there, it all rolls downhill. So if the S&P crashes, everything is crashing. Bitcoin is crashing. Tesla is crashing. Everything is going down. They're going to go down to varying degrees, but it's all falling apart. Like we just saw that. Everything went down. Now, Bitcoin went down later. It didn't necessarily go down at the same time, but it also dropped. So I like to talk about traditional markets because that's where most of the money is. And now that we have major institutions involved in Bitcoin, they care about traditional markets, and they're going to adjust and trade based on that. So hopefully that makes sense. I appreciate that, Rocky. I have a lot of flaws still, but appreciate it. Do you guys care that I don't have the green screen? Do you want the green screen? Like, because if I don't have to set up the green screen, that makes life a lot easier for me. I'm fine just turning on the camera and going and talking, but when I gotta set up the green screen, it's annoying. So if you guys can give me some feedback on if you care about the green screen or not, that would help me. But yeah, that's why I start with the S&P, so then I can work down to the other shit like S&P. Talk a little bit about metals. Sometimes I touch on DXY. And glad to hear, Lucas. Yeah, try to find out where I live. Actually, don't do that. You probably could figure it out. It's a very prestigious condo in Bangkok. Let's put it that way. It's quite prestigious, and I picked this place because it's very big, and it's next to a nice park, which I like to go running at, even though it's... If you told most people the price of this place, they think I'm crazy. But for me, it's fine. I don't mind paying for quality. This is a quality building. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense why I do it the way I do. I understand people are only interested in crypto, but those people don't understand necessarily how markets work. And, the traditional markets control everything. So you have to look at them. You have to talk about it. Yeah. Well, look at Bitcoin moving up. Everything's moving up. You're losing your chance. Solana is going to take off here. You're losing your chance. Hopefully you got some Solana longs. This is not financial advice, by the way. Trade at your own risk. Yeah, so FOMC. Good questions. I like the interaction, Mr. Unknown. Good to have you here. I think FOMCs and any event related to the Fed is just fucking bullshit. I shouldn't say the F word. Sorry. It's bullshit. It is an excuse for the market to hunt liquidity. And normally those events, you just see something like this, and then it picks a direction. Whatever direction is going to liquidate the most people. After they already liquidated people, then they just go where they're going to liquidate more people. So I think it's a whole bunch of bullshit and circus show. I mean, there's no point in trying to predict it. Does it really matter? If markets dump this week, then maybe we get a rate. You're not going to get a rate cut until unemployment starts spiking and markets really crash. This is nothing. I showed you that this is nothing. And look, we're bouncing. This is very bullish. We didn't break any major supports here. This is fine. Like, look at this weekly chart. This is still under the major support area. This was just to get people to shit their pants a little bit, and then it'll probably move higher again. Or maybe it's a topping out point. I hope it's a topping point. I want to get in a major short, and I want to ride it down. When there's blood in the streets, I want green everywhere around me. I want to take a bath in the money. Yeah, so the rate cut, again, is not going to happen until we get unemployment spikes. When unemployment spikes and people start really losing their jobs, that's when the Fed will cut rates. And when the market, and then subsequently the market will have dumped. And by dump, I don't mean a 2% pullback. I mean like down here. Something like that. Like over here or even down here. Even more down. Like we moved up so much that you got to get somewhere that's scary. I don't think it's going to get scary till we get to below 5,000. Nobody's that scared. Yeah. Rocky, I'll look at Matic in the after party. I think I'm already, how far into this am I? It's been almost 35 minutes. Okay, so I will talk about Bitcoin a little bit more. I look at the total, and then any individual coins you're interested in, I will talk about in the after party, and you can ask me again there. If you're not a member, sign up, free trial. Just do it. You can talk to me in the after party. You can talk to Brian. You get lots of personalized info, so it's good. Okay, Bitcoin still didn't break out, right? So we're waiting for that. Be careful until that happens. Solana looks great, but a little bit mixed area, but I like it here. Rune I also like, but I need to see a breakout on this downtrend line to really get super bullish. But on these lower time frames, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Rune. It's looking like it's trying to turn around, but again, be careful until Bitcoin kind of crosses this downtrend line right here on RSI. Everything else is pretty much up in the air. But as long as the S&P keeps heading higher, crypto should also move up. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, that's all I've got. Let's see how the market develops. Right now it's looking decent. I think I gave you general levels that if we push through above this, we should head up. If we push below this, we should head down. As of right now, it's looking like it wants to recover. And we should get moves higher. I don't see why. If the S&P recovers, then crypto will also head higher. That's why we look at the S&P. And look at that. 4-hour chart, we're on the other side. We just got to close up in the next 20 minutes. If we close up in the next 20 minutes, this is a very bullish candle. Look at that. Extremely bullish. Where's my volume? Why don't I have volume? Where is it? What happened with volume? Why don't I have volume? No data. Vendor doesn't provide volume data for this symbol. Seriously? The hell? I don't have volume data. Huh. Doesn't look as amazing as I thought it would. NASDAQ, I like the volume I'm seeing in the NASDAQ here, which is basically the same, but just only tech stocks. So I do like this. This is a good sign. This is what we want to see. I need to see it push a bit harder. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully it makes sense. Rocky, well, ask me in the after party. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do the after party, and I can answer everything there. All right. You're welcome, Bleeding Crypto. Join in the after party. Let's talk there. I'm gonna just stop the stream, and we're gonna just start the next stream. No breaks this time. All right. See you guys there. Bye.